Hi everyone, it's Amy Coon back here again at Your Paper Life Studios. I am here today to bring you a photographer extraordinaire, Miss Tammy Mitchell from TammyMitchellPhotography.com.
That's right.
And you, Tammy, have a history and a background in a paper life, in scrapbooking. Pick that up a little bit before we get into your photography end of your paper life.
Okay, well, I started scrapbooking when I was about, probably 9. It was the old,
Wow.
collecting the ticket stubs and the movie ticket stubs from everywhere I had been and putting them on just pieces of construction paper. And then as I got older and moved away to college, I realized there were entire stores dedicated to this art, which I just about fell over the first time I went in one. Yeah. And so through college, I just worked for some craft companies and just explored that. And then it was really after the birth of my son that I really, I'd always loved photography. I'd always been known as the girl that carried the camera everywhere. And once he was born, that's when it really became more of an art form for me and something that I just, I call my camera.
Treasure.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And I like to call my camera my best accessory because I think it goes more places with me than my kids do now.
They're going to have to surgically remove it. Well, and I wanted to say you are in Southern California and you do have a whole photography business that you do there. You shoot for people and, you come highly recommended. I wanted to get you on the Paper Life for sure as our spotlighted photographer because you tell a story with your pictures.
I do. That is the most important part to me. And I'm not sure if that probably relates a lot to coming from a paper life background with the scrapbooking and whatnot. But I really think that you want to tell a story with the images that you take. And I think as a mom in particular, or a grandma, or anyone who's out there shooting their kids, which I always think sounds so funny, but that you really, you're trying to capture those moments in time and that you want to remember what they looked like, what they were doing, what they enjoyed, and kind of get a feel for who they were at that moment.
And I want you out there, the audience, as you're looking and Tammy takes you through her photos, to really have that eye of how she does tell a story. It's not say cheese to mom in the camera, the pose shots. She's going to show you with her work, kind of thinking outside of the box to just enrich your papers that much more because your photos support the story so much.
Right.
So start and show us some of what we're talking about with that.
Okay. Well, what I thought we'd do is I wanted to kind of approach things from the standpoint of telling a story and kind of think of the parts of a story, the characters, the setting, the plot, and kind of work through that with your pictures, something for you to kind of think about as you're shooting. Because like you said, my style is more photojournalistic, where I'm just kind of shooting all the time and capturing different, little bits. And I'm a big detail person.
I was going to say, we've got to show the detail because I don't think the average scrapbooker thinks about that.
And I really think it's those details that are
in the long term, when you look back, you're going to be like, see the shoes I wore when I was little, or see the, okay. So let's show that.
Okay. So this first image that I have here, I just wanted to show you that when you're introducing your characters in your story, you really want to get down on their level. These are your little kids. When you're shooting them, if you're standing up above them, it just has more of an empty space, empty feeling. If you get down, like in this shot, Ashley,
so you were laying on the
ground?
ground.
I was laying on the ground. I get dirty when I shoot. Okay. So I was on the ground, on my stomach. My camera was on the grass and just capturing her from that perspective.
Her view of the world.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Great example there.
Another one here with my son is him.
Gorgeous photo.
Again, up close. You're introducing these characters. What are the pictures that really grab your attention when you're looking through other people's pictures? It's always those close-ups, the ones that really just jump out at you. And so you want to make sure and get really good up-close shots. And don't be afraid to, you can artfully cut people's heads off.
And I was going to say, even that angle is very interesting to the person who's looking at the picture's eye. You're coming at him from a totally different, and that just grabs us as the viewer of our books.
Right, and that's another thing to think about is perspective, how you're shooting. It doesn't, just like you're getting down on the ground, you don't always have to be just standing directly in front of him. Here I had him kind of kneeling down on the ground, and then I stood up above him and leaned over to get that angle.
I think we forget about those things, you know, that when we are shooting just as the mom shooter, we're just shooting away. And that is a big part of setting your photos apart from what you're seeing in the average scrapbook.
That's so true. So I really hope that these, thinking about it as from a story perspective, will help you to kind of remember those things as you're shooting. This is another example here to kind of show perspective. Okay, because when I took Ashley bowling, I wanted to get her in comparison to the ball. Because I think that when you go back and you look at these pictures 10 years from now, you're going to realize she really wasn't that much bigger than the ball itself, that she was out there giving it her, you know, everything she's got to get it down that little bowling alley. And so, you know, think about shots like that. It doesn't have to be that she's looking at you. It can be, you know, that you've got some object that you can relate to.
Like, I think the natural tendency would be her smiling with the ball in her hand, you know? And you're showing us that there's a beginning, anticipation, and then, wow, you know? It tells a story.
So, and that's the natural progression is here. It shows, it introduces the character, shows the perspective, and then next we've got her as after she's pushed the ball down the aisle, the lane, she's waiting to see what happens.
Building
and then
your anticipation
building that
your
climax of the story, and then kind of a conclusion and the cheering. She was so excited.
And her face doesn't show in any of them. No, that's, you know, but
you can read it like a book.
Great example. Love that one. So what else do you have?
So let's see. Let's pull another one up here. And this is another example of kind of a story here. And again, you know, I did get 2 close-ups, but you don't have to have the face showing for it to mean something and for it to tell you a story. Here, took her to Krispy Kreme. My kids, I take a lot of pictures, so they're not always happy when I break out the camera. So, like I said, I take my camera everywhere, and you really can capture those everyday moments in life, and they don't have to be the perfect looking at the camera shots, and it tells you something fun about what you were doing.
Well, and the way you did this, I feel like I'm there. I feel like I'm at Krispy Kreme when I'm looking at this.
I wish I was there.
Oh, me too. And yeah, by the way, did you bring any? No, but it does. It's, again, that whole building up the climax, and then the wah at the end, you know?
See that she, you know, all her choices, the one she picked, eating it, and then she's our little mess maker, so I had to capture what she looked like after she ate.
Exactly.
So I can remember that when she gets bigger. And
so you at home, be thinking of this. We're going to give you more, but I really think about that when you're doing your photography, you know, that there's stories to be told, and we want these to be treasures, long-term treasures. So bring some more in, because you just have brought, I feel like this is just so rich, such a rich episode with you.
Now this is one of my favorite shots of my son here, because even though it's 2 simple pictures, it again tells a story, shows you what was going on, and it captures a few things that you want to remember as a mom. Here he is writing a story, and again, this is where I kind of got down on his level. I was sitting at the kitchen table, and instead of just sitting there taking the picture, I got down on the table and set my camera on the table to get this angle of view as he was writing his story. But then to get something more interesting, I walked around behind him. And took a shot of just his hands.
And there you have his handwriting forever and ever.
I love the way, you can see the way that his hand grasps the pen. You can see what his handwriting looked like at this age. You can see, you know, the funny misspellings in the story.
Look at his determination and concentration you caught. I mean, this is very important to him, and you've got that.
It was, and I think it's so fun forever to have that, you know, the story, the misspellings, the handwriting, the look of just concentration, because he was just learning to write a story and to really having to concentrate on his script.
Your photos give me goosebumps. I love it. I love it.
My job. And then just to illustrate again, here's another. My daughter just learned how to ride a 2-wheeler. It was so exciting for her. So a lot of detail went in to her just learning how to ride, okay? So it wasn't just a matter of learning to ride the bike.
Right.
It was really, what color is my helmet going to be? How am I, what shoes am I going to wear? It was the whole, little girly girl thing.
Exactly.
So I wanted to capture all of those
Right.
moments. So I got my close-up, introducing the character and her helmet and all those cute things. And then she had wanted this pair of shoes forever.
I have a little girl the same age, and she has to have her Skechers too.
Yes, those sparkle toes. There's just something magical about them, and she knew those were going to be the magic shoes for learning to ride a bike.
Oh, yeah.
So I wanted to make sure and remember that. When I look back in 10 years, that's a detail I probably would have forgotten.
Yep.
If I hadn't captured it. So I grabbed a shot of the shoes, and then to wrap things up, a shot of her actually riding the bike once she had, learned with Dad.
So neat. This, what this kind of does? It kind of brings our English education into scrapbooking of how, you introduce, you do the plot, and then you do the big finale. You do that, and see, those English classes, that's why you should have paid attention, you scrapbookers. So that's great. I love that.
So that's a fun one. And then, again, just another example. I got to bring my little boy in here somewhere. He's an artist, so he loves to create.
Artsy. Look at that.
And again, these are the detail shots. I love the detail. He doesn't have to be in it, but I love the shot of all the paints. I just think there's something so beautiful and artistic about just seeing everything set up before he takes that shot. So again, people don't have to be the main focus.
Okay.
It can be, your story can have many characters, and it doesn't just have to be people.
Good point on that.
And then just a shot of him creating the masterpiece. And once again, he's not in this shot, but the masterpiece itself.
Love it. I love it. I love it. Well, Tammy, thanks for sharing all this with you.
Well, thanks for letting me
Thanks for letting me brush up on my English. No, I'm just kidding. I just really think that, the photos are the heart and soul of our scrapbooking, and you really gave us a different insight, and I love that. So yeah, thank you so much. And we would love to have you back.
I would love to come back. This has been so much fun.
Okay, that'll be great. Well, everyone, this is Tammy Mitchell, TammyMitchellPhotography.com. And, we'll see you back next time at the Paper Life. But until then, you go make a beautiful mess of your paper life and get the camera out.